Oh. All right. Back. So tonight I got a couple things, guys. Got 4 different things to run through. So I'm going to run through them pretty quick. We've got a cylinder head repair. Thankfully, it's not on the combustion side. This guy actually dropped this head, and so it's got a pretty large nick up here on the valve cover surface, on the gasket surface, and then right here on the gasket surface for the intake manifold, it's got some pretty deep gouges. I've already done a little bit of prep to this. I'm already like buffed down, so it's ready to weld. I'm just going to put some preheat in it. So we got this. We've got this little yard art piece. This is like some cast aluminum pot metal. Not real for sure if we'll be able to do something real pretty on that one, but we'll give it a shot. That was my father-in-law is a friend of his, so trying to earn some brownie points with that one. So cylinder head, yard art. Got a little lower end of a Kia or Hyundai. I'm not really, it's marked Kia Hyundai, so I don't really know what it is. Transmission shop that I do a lot of work for brought this up to me. This one might be pretty hard to get some camera angles on, so I'm not for sure how much of this I can show, but I've got this cleaned up. It punched a hole in the, let me see if I can get it on this up close cam. I don't think you guys can see it from that far back. So got a nice little hole right here. I'm not for sure how it managed to get in there. It was a pretty square hole, and it was definitely broke out. So not big enough for a rod, but we'll try welding that up. Like I said, I don't know if I can get too much of a camera angle on that one, so it might just be kind of a weld it up, let you guys look, weld it up, let you guys look type of deal. So there's 3. And then the final one, so I can get some of this stuff off the table. I've got an air tank for a customer. He wants to run an additional 2 airports. I've already got those drilled out, but do not have the right size bung in for those yet. But because he was running it, he's going to run the tank like this in the truck. His drain being on top isn't going to do him much good. So adding a 1/4-inch MPT bung to the bottom of it. So we'll weld this up last. That way I have plenty of room on the table. But we'll just weld this bung up real quick. Show you guys kind of my daily routine. Just for like reference though, like adding 3 bungs into this with the price of the bungs. Quoted him $80. The guy actually gave me 100 as a tip. So that was pretty cool. So we got $100. Depending on how long this one takes, going to be 100, 150. This guy probably 60, and the little yard art's going to be, like I said, that's a trying to score some brownie points with the father-in-law. So, we're looking what 60, 150, so 210. So here we go. We got a $300 night. It could be $340, $350 if I was going to charge for the yard art. So that's what I'm saying, guy. An hour, even messing around, I'll be able to do this in an hour. There's $300. It's a day's pay, especially if it's all cash. You don't have to pay taxes. So I also got a new shirt, retired my green one. I got some actual FR rated shirts now, so it still looks spiffy. Let's go ahead and start on the cylinder head repair. I'm going to get my torch fired up, get some preheat in this thing. I want you guys to see how much moisture comes out of this too. Let me swing this around. Zoom in a little bit. So this isn't the area I'm welding. I'm going to be welding up here and then around on this valve cover surface, but just putting a little bit of flame to this. Let me make sure I'm in view. So we start putting a little bit of heat to this. You can kind of see that little cloud push away. That's actually moisture coming out of the base material. You sit here long enough. I already sweated the top piece out a little bit. And so there's not as much moisture up there. But down here, you can actually take and wipe off. There's water. There's like standing water on the part. So you can kind of see it there where it's kind of chasing that moisture out right there in front of the flame. Gaming Ham, is it necessary to preheat everything every time? No, I could actually, with my 325, I've got enough amperage. I could hit this cold. I mean, that's not a problem at all. I've got, with 325 amps, I've got enough amperage to go ahead and start hitting this thing. Mainly the reason I'm preheating this is more to just get the water out of it. Just dry it out, chase the moisture out. So once I stop seeing the moisture, it's already pretty warm. I bet it's 150, 200 degrees already. It's pretty hot. But no, like thick pieces, if you're underpowered, like if I was running the 210 EXT, it would be nice to throw a preheat on this for the 210. The 325 though, I mean, I'd have no problem running this cold. All right, I got enough heat in there now. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So I'm going to use 3/32, 55, 54 on this. Actually, let's hey, I'm not running down the 210. She's just a little underpowered for this this head. Let me trying to get the arc shot cam lined up again. All right, I'm going to switch over to the arc cam. Have you guys tell me how this looks real quick. It's kind of hard for me to weld and watch that. Actually, that's a little difficult for positioning. Oh, yeah, she's pretty good. All right. Oh, let's see. What rod again? I'm running 55, 54. Of course, my camera moved on me. Give me a second, guys. I got to line this up again. All right, sorry about it. All right. Go. There we go. All right, just a real quick little run to fill this in. And a couple little nicks down here we'll fill in just because we're here. All right. All righty. Bo, I wish I could have Bob up here a little more often. Let's see. Yeah, Midwest Duck. Yeah, not my head. I'm not going to be using it. So it's a, actually, the guys that brought me up this little engine block also brought me up this head. It's a buddy of theirs. So he wanted the scrapes in it fixed. So that's what we're doing. I don't ask any questions after that. So here, right here on this this head gasket surface for the or not head gasket, the valve cover gasket surface, got a couple nicks and a low spot here too. Let's build this up just a little bit. No, Sam, I didn't tell anybody what I was running. So that was 250 amps, 35% balance, 120 hertz. So nothing crazy. So I'm not running the air compressor just because it's too loud in here. So I've actually got a little sandpaper pad on a roll lock on my drill. Just buff this down real quick. And I'm not going super heavy on it. I'm just barely buffing it down. Make sure we don't have any porosity. That's mainly what I'm looking for, is just to make sure we don't have any big gaping holes of porosity in here. I'm not actually trying to get it back smooth. That actually filled in pretty nice. And that'll be nice and even. So just a little more touch-up work on that. I'll actually wait till after the show, and I'll finish smoothing that out once I get the air compressor back on. So just in the shop, it's a little too loud with the microphones. Yeah, Richard, I don't have a mill yet. Soon enough. Actually, come into this month, I'm quitting my day job and I'm working out of here full time. So maybe I'll get a mill sooner than later. All right. So that was nice and fast. Actually went faster than I thought it would. Same thing here again. I'm just going to put a little bit of heat into it to sweat it out. Catch up for a second. Yeah, Richard, I've got 3 different guys down the road from me by about 10 minutes that run full-on machine shops I do a lot of work for. So generally anything I need machined, I can run it over to them real quick. That cylinder head in particular, though, that guy just said he wanted one of those gouges filled in, so that's what we do. I'm just doing my part. So there we go. Put a little heat on that. There we go. Just putting a little heat into it, letting it sweat out. More to get the moisture content out of it again than actually trying to get it up to temperature. It's looked pretty good. All right. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yeah, you guys aren't going to see anything on the camera with that one. I might even have to switch over to a little stubby back cap. Just a second. Need to get my stubby back cap real fast. I'm going to run a little bit more stick out on this as well. John, that I'm not really for sure. I bought that as a kit, and I just always buy MAP gas with it, so I don't know if it requires a special head or not, to be quite honest with you. All right, let's see if we can sneak in here and get you guys a little bit of a view of this before I have to take the camera off and just have you guys watch from a distance. See if you guys are going to be able to see that. All right, we'll give this a shot. I'm not sure I can reach this and have you guys get a view of it. This camera is quite awkward in tight spots like this. Nope. Eric, yeah, I will be at FabTech all week. I'll be in the Everlast booth the entire time, except for about 30 minutes. I'm going to run over and hang out in the Edge Cups booth, which is going to be like 5 down from us. So for the most of the show, I will be in the Everlast booth, answering questions, showing people machines. We're going to be doing live demos 4 or 5 times a day. We've got Mark Winchester coming in. I think he's going to fly in late Tuesday, and then he'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have Mark. We can talk Mark into it. We'll try to have him do a couple little demos. And then Bob Moffat's going to be in the booth several times throughout the week. I'll be doing a TIG demo first thing each morning, and then I'll probably hop in at some point during the day, like midday, and just mess around for a little bit. We're going to be running a couple different welding contests for attendees. So we're considering doing like a razor blade challenge. The winner of that will get a machine. We're considering doing like a bring your own pop can. So bring 2 pop cans, weld them up, and if you can beat me on pop cans, or the best set of pop cans will also get a machine. And we're not talking like a little 140E MIG machine. Like we want to get you guys some good equipment. We haven't decided exactly which machines, but we're going to be giving you guys a good TIG machine setup. Let's see. Would you tackle that with a 210 and a helium mix? Yeah, 210 and helium mix would be fine. Even doing like pure argon with the advanced AC pulse, you could pretty easily do this. Especially like this piece. This piece is actually a little bit thinner where that crack is. It's maybe only 3/16 of an inch thick, right where this hole's blown out. So really, you could probably hit that with the 210. I mean, you'd be wide open, but you could get it with the 210, I think. All right. It's a pretty awkward hand position. I'm not really able to get a good torch angle. This is one of those times where running the gas lens, to me anyways, is a big help. Oop, little dirty spot. Get you guys back on the arc shot. I'll try to get you guys a view of this. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm working from the bottom. I'm just filling up. So I'll hit this from this side, and then I'll burn it in from the other side as well. And I'll actually use my arc. Once I get this filled up, and I want to flatten the inside of it out. So what I'll do is I'll get it filled up to where it's all solid again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the torch and light up on it and kind of melt all that filler in and just let it sink just a very little bit and let it smooth out a little. Hopefully we'll be able to get that on the arc shot. Oh, real bad torch angle there. I don't know if you guys can see that on the arc shot. Like I said, this is where I think a gas lens does really help on aluminum, because I'm running a big stick out. I'm running a really goofy torch angle. So now I'm going to go up top here. I'm going to bead right along this top edge. We should be able to fill this gap in now. So there we go. Got the inside filled. Let's see what it looks like from this back side. Oh, not too bad. So there's our repair from the outside. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna have to take the camera off to get in down here. You guys won't be able to see anything, but I'll switch it out to either this up close cam or the far out shot, and just bear with me for, I don't know, a minute or two while I hit that. Zoom back out. So what I'm gonna do, what I like to do on stuff like this where I'm filling a large hole and I want one side to sit real flat, so I filled it up from the inside. To me, that's our most important side. So what I'm gonna do is run a bead kind of around the outside of the hole here, from this side, make sure that edge is tied in really nice and tight. I might even go all the way around it 2 or 3 times to make sure it's tied in real good. I'll flip it back over from the inside. I'll probably go up on amperage. I'll probably go up to 300 amps. I'm gonna heat up that whole weld pool, and I'm gonna have it sitting like this. I'm gonna let gravity take over and have that weld pool just sink down in there a little bit better. And that helps with not having as much cleanup for me, so I won't have to run the die grinder for 3 hours trying to clean that up. The spool gun would definitely fill it faster. The problem with this, and it might be hard for you guys to catch, to get a grasp of how tight this is, it's just a super, super tight area. Even with the torch cam off, I'm not for sure how well I'm going to be able to get in here from the outside. The inside wasn't too bad, but this outside with where the oil filter mounts, it's pretty tight in there. So let me hit this real quick, guys. I'll run a couple beads around this if I can, and then we'll switch back over to the inside. All right, guys, just about done. Yeah, that's enough there. That's good there. So let's go ahead. We'll flip it back over. And get this to lean up against this. There we go. That fits in there pretty nice. Oh. Get the arc cam back on real quick. I'm going to send you guys on a ride for a second. Sorry. All right. So now we're back on the inside. Ooh, you guys aren't going to be able to see that. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna have to adjust this so you guys you'll be able to see. All right, a little bit different angle here. Let me go picture in picture. You guys can see what I'm doing. All right, I hope you guys can see this. I can't see it on the camera. I'm kind of just going over everything. Melting in those edges a little bit. And getting some heat into it. And so it's starting to drop. I don't know if you guys can see that. I actually need to turn it up a little bit more. All right. So it didn't drop down. Whoop. You guys want to ride. So I didn't drop down quite as much as I wanted to. I am going to have to go in there with a die grinder and shape that up quite a bit. But more in the light. There you go. Said it was so tight. It's basically running that wide open at 250. Getting it hot and then letting the just kind of jabbing filler in it where I could. Some of that I was having to back feed from the back side of the cup. So you do what you can sometimes. So there's 2 down. Set that off to the side. Do some die grinder work here after a little bit. Switch my tungsten out real fast. And we'll do this. I'll add this drain bung into this air tank. And if any of you guys, I can't say enough about my CK Turbo Sharp. I bought that. That was not a gift. That was not a promo item or anything from CK. I bought that. And that has been the best $800 I've ever spent. If any of you guys are doing a lot of TIG work, or you're running a shop that does a lot of TIG, or if you work in a shop that does a lot of TIG, and you guys are using like a belt sander, or I know a lot of shops use like a bench grinder with like a diamond wheel on it. If you work for a shop, see if they can look into getting a CK Turbo Sharp. That thing it's a game changer. It really is. And if like me, you work out of your shop, or you're TIGging a lot, even as a hobbyist, it might be a little big pill to swallow, $800 for a tungsten sharpener. But I'm telling you, I have saved $800 worth of time just on sharpening tungsten. That thing is amazing, and it's consistent. That's the main thing, is it's consistent. You can get the same grind, the same angle every time. And so you're not always fighting, a different setup. Which that's a lot of, learning your consistency. Consistent results require a consistent setup. And like I said, that Turbo Sharp definitely helps you have a consistent setup. All right, let me tack this thing up real quick. All right. I was starting to lose my torch angle right there on that last little run, so I'm going to come back over and overlap this by 2 or 3. There we go. Now, obviously, I've got 2 more bungs to do on this tank before it's done. But like I said, I drilled it out. I maybe had 10 minutes in drilling those 3 holes out, just using a step bit. And I got $12 in bungs. So it's a $100 job. It's a nice, easy one. Woo! Now this thing, now that we've got the big stuff out of the way, the easy stuff, this is a little yard art, like mailbox topper. Like I said, it's from my father-in-law. It's for one of his friends, actually. I guess that storm, it blew off or something, and it broke this pheasant off right at its legs. So he asked me if I could fix it. He thinks it's pot metal. So I'm going to actually turn my machine down. We were at 250 for those last 3 jobs. I think I'm going to turn this thing down. I'm going to go to 171, 121 hertz, and I'm going to go up to 41% on my balance. So I'm going up on my balance mainly because this is probably some junk shit material. So it's probably going to be pretty dirty. It's got a lot of grooves where I can't get any abrasive down into it. So it's going to be dirty. I can see there's some remnants of old paint on there that we're going to be burning off. But 2, going up in balance will pull some of my heat input. And I've actually got this is 034, 035 aluminum MIG wire. And what I want to do is run real light amperage and tack this up first. Just see how it's going to go before I try to put some big filler rod to it and have to use a bunch of amperage. So let's see how this tacks up. It's actually welding pretty well. Ran away from me there just a little bit. Now we got a good tack on it. So I'm going to keep you guys on the arc shot cam. I'm going to flip this over. This backside's a little more flat. So I'm actually kind of welding this like I showed you guys welding the edge of that pop can. I'm kind of tacking over my filler and getting the filler to drop in first, and then coming back and trying to run a bead over that filler I dropped in there. So I've already got some meat. I've got something I can melt in before just arcing up on that base material. See there, I kind of added a little drop of filler, let it ball up on the material, and then melted that in. This one's being a little tricky right here. We got a pretty bad angle. There we go. Finally caught. Oh, I'm getting low on my my MIG filler. If you think like 3/32, if you think like a 3/32 filler at 1/16 filler goes by fast, try using some 035. It goes real quick. I got a little spot here I want to hit. I'm going to need to lean this up to get the these thinner edges of this. Yeah, Derek, I am using aluminum MIG wire. Actually, to get a little bit more of it. So, sorry, I said 035. It's my 047, so the 364s. My bad. My open spool is what I have on the spool gun that we ran a couple weeks ago. So I got to open a new spool up. Now, I don't MIG weld a whole lot of aluminum, but I do like keeping these little MIG rolls on hand just for stuff like this, doing like really fine detail work. You'd be surprised once you have it, how handy it can be to have something smaller than 1/16 laying around. So something like this, I thought I was just going to use this MIG wire just to tack it. and then maybe grab some 1/16 and weld around. But it was running well enough with this 047 that I just decided I'm just going to use that. So I guess that's a good little trick too. Like keep some, it is nice to keep some MIG filler around. I do that a lot for stainless stuff, and then even like chromoly, like those brackets I welded up a couple months ago for Tick Performance. And I was using MIG filler on those. So it comes in handy, even if you don't think so. It does come in handy every now and then to have some really, really thin filler. Oh, I should have got you guys on the arc shot cam. So now that I've got some material in here, it's quite a bit easier to just light up on this base material. Now this is a tricky little spot. So I don't know if you guys could see how tight that was on the arc shot cam, but that was a tight little spot to get the tungsten in. So I may be using, I've got the machine set to 170. Man, I might only be using I might have only been using 70, 80 amps on that. But there we go. Nice and solid. So a little bit of cleanup work. I can probably just hit that with a Scotch-Brite pad on a roll lock and just kind of blend that in a little bit. I think it's going to be one of those like 20 feet or 20 miles an hour. No one's really stopping by your mailbox and checking out your mailbox topper with a microscope. So yeah, that'll be a nice, easy one. So here we are. We're at 750. I had 4 pieces we worked on. 3 of them aren't quite finished, but the tank, I maybe got, another 10 minutes in. I've got maybe 30 minutes in blending on the bottom of that block, and then maybe another, I'd call it 10 minutes on that cylinder head to blend everything down. So call it another 30 minutes. So an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, even, kind of showing you guys some stuff. There's pretty easy $300. So that's a day's pay in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So anyway, does anybody else have any other questions about FabTech? I can't remember what booth we're in. I'd have to look it up. I'll get the booth number and write it down next time for next week. I know we're real close to like Outlaw Leather. We're actually directly behind Blue Demon. So Blue Demon and us are kind of like out on an island. And we backed up to Blue Demon. So it'll be the 2 of us back to back. Take that for what it is. But yeah, like I said, I'll be at FabTech all week. I'm actually flying out the week before to help set up the booth. So I will be there for a while. But I'll be there all day, every day. We are teaming up with Edge Welding Cups. Obviously, they've been a pretty big supporter of mine. That's all I use is Edge stuff. But we're having, I think, like 10 or 12 of the Edge people, the whole Edge army, come into the Everlast booth. We're going to be doing live demos. Like I said, we have 4 demos, 5 demos every day, like 2 in the morning. Maybe have Bob come like right about lunchtime, like 11, 11:30. And then we'll have 2 in the afternoon each day as well. And we're going to be doing giveaways. Oh, man. I think we're going to have a 255 EXT and then a 253 DPI, available. And I think even like the 161 STH, we might have one of those available to run as well. But we'll have like 8 or 9 machines on display so people can run through them, take a look at them. Oh, Bob and I play real nice. I told Bob he's got to do his 60-10 open route, running uphill. Keep running, look over, flip his hood up, take a drink of iced tea, flip it back down, and keep on running. So hopefully I can get some video of that this time, because it is, I'm telling you guys, that is one impressive man to watch weld. I love hanging out with that guy. Oh, Derek, that was cast aluminum. Anyway, so yeah, so if you guys ever have any questions, I now have a Everlast email address. I'm going to be working part-time for Everlast, doing some marketing stuff, also helping out with sales and tech service, and helping design and improve new machines. So I'm working with Everlast part-time now. So you can email me at Jesse, Jesse, at everlastwelders.com. You can find me at McCollum.weldfab on Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, I'm one of the moderators, the admins on the Everlast Facebook page. So any way you guys can reach out to me, there's a lot of familiar names on here. Richard, I know I've talked to you. Derek, we talk quite a bit. Bo, we talk quite a bit. So yeah, guys, I mean it. Like, feel free to reach out to me. You're not bothering me. That's literally what I'm here for. So I don't know what we're going to do next week. I do have, it's a little blocked right now by some other stuff I'm working on. We pull this power supply. Oop, wrong camera. But this truck back here, now that we've kind of run through some basic stuff on like TIG, you know, obviously we've done a lot of TIG work. That Vega is going to be leaving. There's my new Evolution saw. But that's a full tube chassis C10 Chevy with a Subaru STI full drivetrain. So it's all-wheel drive. It's going to have a billet block, like 1,000 horse to the tire. It's going to be a full carbon front clip. I mean, carbon hood, carbon fenders, carbon grill, carbon bumper, and then it will have a full carbon bed with a huge carbon underpan, diffuser. It'll be pretty wild. So once I can get this stuff out of the way, I'll probably show you guys, you know, how to work on that thing. So that's a full tube chassis build. The whole chassis needs to be welded out. So we might start transitioning away from working here on the table and doing some larger projects, like actually out in the shop. I'll have to try to work around where to set my laptop and all that, so I can keep in touch with you guys while we're doing the show. But I think that's where I want to transition the live stream towards, as we can show a lot of different processes with that. Like especially on that truck, we can do, you know, TIG. We can do, like, that's all DOM tubing, so we can do a lot of TIG tube work on that. Showing you guys some fitment. Excuse me. A lot of that is going to be MIG because it is DOM. We can even get into like some cage design with stuff like that. You know, showing like how to coat tubes without like a tubing notcher. So I think I want to transition towards doing some larger projects, maybe even doing bow anodized pipe. Send me a message on Instagram now, and let's hook up on the anodized pipe. I can get you some money for the pipe and shipping, but that is something I've been meaning to do. But yeah, I've even thought about getting like an aluminum jet boat hull, like one of the little like 6 or 8 foot ones. So that's something we could even do on the table or out on the floor too, like doing some larger projects, showing you guys a lot of, you know, fit up stuff and little tips and tricks for projects. As even a lot of the work on that truck can transfer to, you know, building a lot of different stuff. So you kind of pick up little tips and tricks from all the projects you've worked on, and it can really build up your skill set. So anyway, yeah, Derek, we're going to have shirts. No, we're going to have hats. We will have hats at FabTech. If you guys bug Oleg enough on the Facebook page, we might do another big run of them and then have them, you know, for 20 or 25 bucks on on the Facebook page just for you guys. Or maybe we can do it as something for this show. I can put my little logo and the Everlast logo on a trucker hat or something. So anyway, yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll be back next Wednesday, the Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, 7 p.m. Central. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.